Welcome to Trading Lounge and the S&P 500 report for the 24th of July. Starting with the Nasdaq on the hourly chart here, I want to point out that we are in a corrective pattern here, and that's been from this top here. The S&P 500 has led higher and taken this top out, but the Nasdaq has just really stayed below this top here, well, in most cases. Yeah, we counted down here as 5 waves, so we were waiting for an A and a B and a C wave to complete this B wave here, and then looking for 5 waves down here to make wave C here. Now, this is the Nasdaq 100. Now, it hasn't taken the top out here, so it could be down for wave 1 here, you might be saying, and then wave 2 here, and then going down for a third wave here. Yes, that's possible when you look at this, but if we look at the other markets, I'm just bringing up the trading levels charting program. This is also the NAS 100 as well here. It's not updated today, but we can clearly see that hasn't made a new high here, and it's trading down through here, so it's overlapped the top of this one here. So also too, when we look at the comp here, the interesting thing here with the Nasdaq comp is that it has taken out the top here for this, but yet it's only in 3 waves, and yes, it's pulled back down and it's overlapping the top of this structure here as such. And also too, the triple Q as well, that's trading down here now at I think it's 257 roughly, somewhere down here, 250, between 258 and 256 anyway, but like it's way down here. So even if you looked at this as wave 1 up and then back for wave 2, then wave 1 here and then back for wave 2, well, that's a bit unlikely, because if it's trading down at 256 here, then it's already touching the previous lows here. So I'm pretty sure that we're in a correction here. In some cases it's taken the top out here, and we would look at that as a expanded flat correction here. So an A wave, a B wave and a C wave. And what also it's telling me as well is, because it's taken the top out here, it's telling me that it is an expanded flat, and they typically happen in wave 4. So this really puts us in line, because as you know, this week we've been, over the last 2 days, we've been looking at stocks having their being in wave 4s as such, and we pull the S&P 500 into that, and we'll look at that again. But the takeaway here for the Nasdaq is that we're in an A and then a B wave and a C wave in 5 waves here, and because it's taken the top out on the comp here, we can say that it's an expanded flat correction, and they occur in wave 4. So we can look at this as a wave 3 here, and then a wave 4 here, and then we're looking for 5 more waves up to the top here. Okay, so within that structure here, we're looking at wave 1 and 2 here, nice third wave here. We're still looking for the 4th and the 5th here. We can look at this on, I'm not sure if I did it on the tick chart or the 15-minute chart, but we'll soon know. Okay, so so from the top here, we've got wave 1 and wave 2 here, and we're looking down at wave 3 here, or 5 waves down. So from wave 2 top here, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for 1 and 2 here, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 3 and 4 here. The wave 4 here is 38.2% retracement level, a little bit higher, so it could be an A and a B and a C coming up to this level here, to the 10,650, which is really important, because 65, 72 and 80, that's all of group 2 there, right? So if it's going to fail, then it's going to fail at that group 2 at the 650 area here. I've just got the 600 in here just because it's just tapping that out there, but we don't need that. The next level down, so the levels are 500 here, 10,500. This is the midpoint here, 500, and then we go to group 2 here. So the 38.2% retracement level is here. So we could say that if this is all wrong, then we could say, well, if support was found on our 72 number here within group 2 here, then the market's going to go higher from that point, and we're wrong, and we're not going to end up feeding this last structure down through this pattern here. So you could probably also look at that too. If you've got a really strong support on 10,650, you could consider going long, but it'd have to be a really good setup to do that. Okay. Let me just clean this up here. So the way I was looking at it, I can't draw on this side of the tick chart. It's possible to go up here in 5 waves and then drop down here for wave 3, then wave 4, and then wave 5 down here, which brings us down into the 10,400 and possibly even the 300 here as well. I mean, if it hits the 300, that's probably the buy on the 300, because you'll just see it bounce. As the top of group 1 we're talking about, so you're going to see it bounce nicely off that number there. So we'll see how we go, but you know, all of this here could play out and just use the 500, because 5 is the second strongest number in the market, and this will become the sticky number, so it could end up sort of doing something like it's trying to get up there, coming down here, trying to get back up here for the B wave, the wave, green wave 4 here, and then having sort of this coming down here and coming, you know, having a shorter wave, then just sticking here, you know. So if you give it enough time and you kind of understand what it's doing here, then you can come in on the 500 here and start building in positions here. Okay, so that's the Nasdaq. So all of this week here, we've been talking about this in being wave 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the third wave. And as I mentioned, this I've been using Australian stocks, so I'll just continue to do that for a moment because they're here with me. So 1 and 2 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth wave here, and then we're going up the fifth wave. So one more little push up here for that. And that gives us the top of the third wave. A New York stock and an Australian stock is BHP. The same thing here is occurring as well. Up for 1 here, 2 here, 1 and 2 here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, fourth wave, and then we're going up for the fifth wave. So we also want one more little push up here, and then we've got our ABC pattern here and so on. Then we've got our wave 5 up here. So this is how I'm viewing the stocks basically around the world like this. But anyway, we went through all of that this week, last 2 sessions, so we're not going to worry about that. But it does bring us here. So I'm thinking that we've got the little move down here, and then we've got one more move up here, and then we'll get our wave 4 here, and then we'll get our wave 5 here. Now, nothing's set in stone, as you know, so we need to have a look at the details and talk about strategy. So we'll move in through here and have a look at this here, because we're looking for 5 waves moving up into this little structure here. So if this is really going to give us much more here. So I'm looking at this as wave 1 here. So wave 2 can go over here for this, because I counted 5 waves down here. So I know we're still going to go over that side, don't we? We'll just focus on the top here. I haven't got that sorted just yet. Let me just check on the hourly, see what I've done here. Yeah, I've done it over here. So all right, okay, I'm with it now. So the same thing here as well. I counted 1 and 2 here and 3 here, and we went over this in a lot of detail. And then we'll look at, we had this as wave 4, and then we got this situation here, but we've got a clear 5 waves down here as well. So clear. So we're looking at this as the A, the B, and the C for wave 4 here. And then I know it all looks a little bit odd, but I have pulled it all apart on tick chart and gone over every little bit. So and then up for wave 5 here. So let me just get this sorted here, and we'll continue to look in this with a bit more detail. Now, this situation here, I suppose I've got this as the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave for wave 4 here, and we're also still looking for another move down into this space before we move up, but we're going to check all that. But I just want to explain myself here, so I'm going to do that with the cash market. So with the cash market here, it's just a little bit clearer, and then we'll have a look at the other markets. So we can see that we've got an A and a B and 5 waves down here for wave C here. So that might have been the end of it here. but then we needed 5 waves to the upside here. And it's very difficult to count 5 waves to the upside here. It's more like an A and a B and a C wave here. There's not 5 waves here. So I'm thinking that this is the A wave here, the B wave here, because there's just not 5 waves here. An A and a B and a C here probably, or you could do it a different way, but it still doesn't show me 5 waves here. So here we're looking at 1 and 2 here, down for 1 here in 5 waves, an A and a B and a C for 2 here, and then we're in the third wave coming down here. So this, so in this third wave here, so we'll have wave 1 and 2 in here, and 3 here and 4 here, and down for 5 for the third, then a fourth and a fifth. So a little bit further to go down, but I just wanted to bring the cash market up just to show you this here doesn't count as 5 waves here. So with that in mind, when we look at this little structure here, you might think there is 5 waves in there, and you can squeeze them in there, but not such a great fit. So I'm just going to go to the tick chart now with this, and we'll need to bring in a bit more data here. And because we kind of like to look at Friday being the bullish day. In the bullish weekly cycle, we look at Thursday being the bearish day and Friday being the bullish day, and then Monday following through on that. So that's what we're kind of thinking. So in this structure here, we're looking at the A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here, like a small expanded flat. I mean, the one we looked on, the Nasdaq, was a bigger one, but don't forget this stock has been rising here a lot as well. So I'm sure there's other counts, but this is what I've come up with. So I'm looking at this as the A wave here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the A wave here. Let's just expand this up a little bit here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the A wave, the B wave here, and then I didn't want to put the B wave over here because this little move down here was in 3 waves here and an impulse wave here. So I've got an A and a B here, then 1 and 2 here, and then 5 waves up here for 3, back for 4, and then 1 and 2 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, fourth and fifth. So once again, there's not 5 waves in here. Can I squash 5 waves in here? I probably could by putting the B wave just here, but this is in 3 waves here. So because if I had the A wave here, then an A and a B and a C wave here, then I could go, well, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, but this is in 5 waves and this is in 3 waves here. So and that's why I checked the cash market and wanted to explain that. So we can come back over here and we can look at this to the downside here now. We'll look at all of this here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for 1 and ABC for 2. That's all pretty clear. And you can see that, well, the strong third wave in here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here to finish that off. So 1 and 2 here, and then let's just get this open here. So from the top here of wave 2 to the low of wave 3 here, the 38.2% retracement level is here. So we can pull up to this further up here. So we probably could look at this as 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So in this case here, we wouldn't want the 32.50 to become the support there. Yes, it's okay for it to trade above there. It's okay for a wave 4 to move from 40%, 38.2, 40% to 50%. That's okay. It's not a big deal. We can live with that. But if we find tested support on this here with a classic trading levels pattern, like a really nice solid support on that, like the arrival, the reaction, we test higher on top of the 50 and then we come back down and then we find support on here again, then, we need to be, as a trader, we're going to put the trader hat on and go, well, that's a setup and that's on a level and we need to be long from that point. So that's what we do on that 50 there, but just trading above it is not support, okay? So with all of this here, we're still looking for this to feed down a little bit lower down in here. Now, I also want to talk as well is that we don't want to see the 3200 here becoming the retested resistance. It's okay for the market to spike down through that. Let's just go, I can't draw on the tick chart here, so I'm just going to go back to the hourly chart here. So one of the things that I find is that when we're working with group 1 here, which is, we've got 3000, which is the major level here, then we've got 1, 2, and 3 here. So in a bullish market, right, we don't want this to become the retested resistance, because if that becomes the retested resistance, then it's rejecting that and it's going to be pulled down further from that. So it's okay for the market to come down here, bounce off it here and go down. It's even okay for it to come down to the 150 there, but coming back up here, we need it to come back up. We can't have it retesting that and making the new low here for that, because then it becomes bearish at that point. And that's what I use the number 2 for in most cases. So if the number 2 becomes the retested resistance, the market's going to be pulled down to the closest largest number here for this. So that's what that does. When we get support on top of 3,300, the top of group 1, then we can look higher from that point, and we're still looking for a move higher. We also understand, I mean, normally I'd look for from 3 to 5, but we know that the 3-4 here is the top of the previous market, so top of the previous trend. So over here, we know that this is around the 34 area here. Interestingly enough here, there is a little gap in here for that, just in there for that. So that's worthwhile understanding, because once that gap is filled here, then the market can rest and drop at that point. So I know on our website we're still looking at this as a B wave rally there, but we'll let that play out so we understand that. This one here, and that's for Trading Lounge members, but we're working this count here for this at the moment, in line with stocks. So just to recap all of this, let me just bring across the NASI for a moment, just to recap that. So keep an eye on the Nasdaq. In fact, I'm sorry about that. That really needs to go there. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's not 5 waves from there to there, or either way. And this is overlapping now. And we need to finish this off here now. So could this get more complicated? Yeah, it could. We could end up in a triangle pattern across here as well. So as an A and a B and a C wave here for the A wave, the A, B, C for the B wave here, and A, B. So basically an A, B, C, D, and E over here, which wouldn't surprise me as well. So that's also possible. In fact, what I'm just going to do here is I'm going to put these in here just to remind me, now that I've just noticed that, because just like a little yellow note sticker or something. So we'll see. If we only get 3 waves down here, then we'll look at this being a triangle pattern across here, which would be okay as well, in a sense, because we're looking for that orange wave 4 in a sense. And the Nasdaq's been leading, so it's quite possible that we could have this as a wave 3 up here, just because it's leading. So it's possible to have this count here for the NASI. I haven't really confirmed this, but we could end up having this is the A, the B, the C, the D, and the E wave here as a triangle pattern, and then pushing up. And that would give the other markets time too, because we need 3 legs in the other markets, in stocks and so on and so on. So it's possible to do that. Let's just sort of recap this though. Yeah, look, this has been a real sticky journey in here for me, and we've got parts of it right, parts of it wrong. We've made a bit of pocket money, lost a bit of pocket money. It's just one of those things. And let's go in and just have a closer look at this, just sort of finish this off here. So this is what I'm thinking, and this is, I mean, all of this is really like it's just it's really stretched the wave count. You know, it was being dragged up by the Nasdaq, and then the Nasdaq stopped, and then this one just kept on going through the earnings and so on. And it's just really got a lot of distorted structures within it as such. But there's two things that we're going off. We're looking at an impulse coming down through to here, and then moving higher, making a new high here, and that would based on if Friday closes strong, then Monday will close strong, and we'll see that fifth wave here. What we do need to be mindful of, just to be sure, is that once we do have this top, well, that top's in place, once we have the low in place here, we'll need to look at the 50-60% retracement level here, because if I've made a mistake anywhere, then that's the space that's going to be, that wherever it is, right, that's the place where the market can fail from. Normally what I find to the 61.8%, if we get 5 waves to the 61.8%, then we're safe at that point, because we've got 5. That means it will get a reaction here in 3 waves, and then we can push up again from that point. But if we get 3 waves to the 61.8%, then we could have a problem. Still could be wave 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2 here, but it's probably likely that we're going to go into something else at that point. So we'll be watching that closely at that point there. But yeah, so that's it really in a bit of a nutshell. How do we trade long here? Well, we need this to finish off down here, and that's what I was suggesting. You can see that we've got great support here. You could probably just buy on the 200 here if that's the case. Just be aware of this trend line coming through here as well. Climbing, you know, trading under that and then climbing back up can present a nice opportunity. You need the tick chart for that to move in, but otherwise, if I go to the tick chart here, and we'll just be looking for this 5 waves down here as such. The other point here need to point out too is that the reality, I mean, apart from my counting the waves, the reality is that we just have 3 waves down here. So it's possible that this can be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, and I've got everything wrong. So getting a solid support on the 50 here, you know, as a classic trading levels pattern would be the thing to do. And if this is going to be a wave 4 up here, that's going to be an A wave, a B wave, and 5 waves up here. So 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So if you can count 5 waves to that point, anything above that will be bullish. And especially if you see the market way up here, up in the sort of 60 area up here, then you also need to think about going long at that point. You may think that you've missed the boat, but what we'd be looking for at that point is that top to be taken out here, and we'll be ending up about at least the sort of 320, 330 sort of area up here at minimum. Alrighty, I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in, much appreciated, and enjoy the weekend. Cheers.